Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. So today I want to take a look at the hand path in transition. The reason I want to do this is I feel as though there's been a lot of misconception around how to hit a draw and how the hand should move in the transition phase. I see a lot of players going to get that into out path by the hands working more this way in the transition phase rather than moving more down towards the ball. So I'm going to show very clearly in some 3D animation what a good ball striker would do, a player that hits draws, and how the hands moving this way in transition really hinders the player moving through impact and hitting good golf shots. Hope you enjoy this one. Okay, so staying on the theme of hand path in the golf swing, today putting a focus on the transition, and I'm just going to jump right in and show you the 3D animation of a player. Great ball striker, hits a nice little draw, and what you'll see there is essentially the theme of today's video, how he's from about, say, halfway back in backswing to the top and then moving into downswing, how nicely he matches up the hand path. And I find a lot of players find it hard to get their head around or conceive how the hands from the top can move more out and the player still finds it quite easy to hit a nice draw. Okay, lots of players I find will be under the misconception that from the top that they want to hit a draw, they've got to get their arms or the hands behind them and then swing out to the right. The reason I find that that's not helpful for players, or I believe it's not helpful for players, is that when you move your hands behind, you're also moving your elbow, your trail arm behind your body too much. So essentially you're going to get trapped there, and that will in the end slow up the body rotation as the arms have to catch up, which leads to a lot of mishits. Okay, so again, let's just put up that 3D animation again. So again, this is the player from, if any of you out there that watched the hand path in backswing video from a while ago, it's the same player. And just to recap, you can see how in the start the hands will move slightly out, and then right around here, say when hands are waist high or club just gets past parallel, the hands will start to work in more deeper than they were at address. And then to the top, you can see again how nicely that matches up on the way down. So a couple of things to help you with that, and a couple of something I actually want to just share before we go into them is that I find a lot of players struggle with that because when they do the hands out move, it's still partnering like a thrust motion of the body. So if the body moves out and the hands are out, now the hands are way out in front. So what we need to really encourage is that when we are working that way, that the body's staying back. Okay, so remembering that transition starts with the order of more lower body first, then rib cage, then arms and hands, and then the club. So first thing we'd want to do in transition is transition, pushing off the instep of the trail foot. Imagining there's a wall behind us there that you're almost pushing your trail glute onto. Okay, so you're keeping that space there.
15 minutes.
Thanks, man. Got 15 minutes to shoot the rest of this video. So I'm going to keep that space there in my glute. Almost imagine I'm pushing it back on the wall. And then from that position there, that's me staying on the wall there, getting my hands to move down to match up how they came down. From this position there, rib cage, then I'll move through next. And that gets me down to about here where I'm in a good position. So essentially, you still have to do a good job of pelvis first, rib cage, arms, hand, club, the transition order we're looking to always stick to. Okay, so that'll help you to keep your space between the ball and get everything back on there. Couple of simple, or trying to be as clear as I can, arm and hand feels. So from top of backswing, all I'm doing there is I'm almost feeling like I'm pulling the butt of the handle towards the ball. And as I do that, you can see I'm doing that move with my left hip, creating the space. Okay, and I'm also from face on, I'll show you, I want to show you this. As I'm pulling the handle towards the ball, I'm maintaining the angle between the club shaft and my trail forearm. That actual move there, I feel like I'm pushing into my hand, is a nice little feel there. So all this stuff I would typically work on away from the golf ball, and then I might use some rehearsals trying to get lined up to the flag out there that the camera sets up to. I might use some rehearsals where I'm nice and slow and then hit, but typically for me, I like to do the rehearsals away, and then I'll do an exaggerated feel and then just hit a couple of shots. So hopefully there's some theory in there to help create the awareness of how you could move on the way down. Hopefully that helps you with your game.